Here we are, fall. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Fall, November seems like winter to me. I don't like the whole classification, but yeah, it's like fall.
It does. It's, well, our fall is different than the fall I grew up with in Michigan. Fall in Michigan starts in August. It seems like, but anyway, yeah, it's beautiful and real estate's booming. The leaves are falling off the trees.
Yep.
And here we are talking about real
Lots
estate.
of leaf piles in the yard to go.
Yeah. So Tracy, what do we got today?
Well, we're going to talk about a few things today. One is, what can we expect for the real estate market over the winter?
Yep.
There's been a lot of information about that. And the other thing is we're going to talk a little bit about all the different players involved in the residential real estate world and kind of dive in deep on title.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, anybody that's been doing a certain job or in a certain career or in a certain profession for so long, we develop our own lingo. And over time, we just take it for granted that everybody knows what our lingo is and what things mean. And so we felt like it was important to start really talking about what are the different people relating to the transaction, the parties, right? The players in the whole real estate transaction. So we'll go through that. Well, and I wanted to just talk about the fact this home's coming on the market. There's a lot of interest for this home. We know that. And I've gotten a few people reach out to me. It's like, what's going on with the market? Is it starting to slow down? Is what's going on? And the short answer is yes, it's slowing down, but there's a but to that, which is it always slows down this time of year, right, Tracy?
Right.
Real estate activity always slows down November, December, January,
February.
Well, and then February is kind of when it starts, getting busier again. It's not like real estate stops though.
No.
People buy and sell throughout the whole year. It's just that the slower months are right now.
Speaking of housing,
Yes.
so
Yes.
Lawrence Hoon, he is the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors.
Smartest man I don't know.
Smartest man you'd like to know.
I'd like to know.
Right
He's
behind
like,
Eddie. Yeah.
Well, there's Eddie.
Eddie.
Of course. But yeah.
So Lawrence Hoon, we really follow him because his chief economist, great stuff. And it always is very insightful and feels very spot on. If you look back.
Well, he has the pulse on what's going on in real estate, especially in the resale side of real estate, better than anybody in the country.
Right. Well, and that's his job. So
that's his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what he's saying this week. This winter, he said, winter will bring a flurry of activity to the housing market, which, we don't think of winter as a top selling season for home buyers and sellers, right? But we are seeing, I know we started off with some stats that show that through the first 10 days of November, we're up like 30% still, even though people are feeling that it might be slowing a little bit, which would be typical. So he's saying it will be one of the best winter sales years ever. And we truly believe that.
That's a big statement, too.
A huge statement. And if we had more houses on the market, it would be even a bigger winter.
And
right?
he doesn't say stuff like that just to pump people up or anything. He will be negative if the data shows that things are negative.
Right. He's saying the typical winter slowdown in the housing market is simply not on the radar, right? And there's reasons for that, right?
Well, we had the great pause, is what I call it, back in, March, April, May.
So we still had more homes sold overall in 2020 than in 2019, even with the great slowdown in March, April, May, right? Yep. So we still sold more homes than last year.
And that's true locally here, Albuquerque. Not that he's talking nationally, but that's true here locally as well.
Right. So some of the things he's talking about that weigh into having a great winter, mortgage interest rates are going to remain very low through the new year. Right. So the possibility of rates falling, more is pretty unlikely, but staying low is very likely.
Let me add color to that. So Mortgage Bankers Association, which is the large, kind of like the National Association of Realtors for Lenders, it's MBA, and Mortgage Bankers Association put out their 5-year projections on interest rates, and they're saying maybe by the end of next year, 21, 3.5% maybe. It's there's no indication that interest rates are just suddenly going to start shooting up.
Right. So, with regard to the challenge over the winter, the lack of available homes for sale is the challenge. So that creates a great time for people who are thinking about selling to beat the spring selling season, right? We have lots of buyers waiting for homes to come on the market.
Yep.
And, for sellers, getting them on the market before the typical late February, March, April selling season and having them on over the winter while we still have high demand from buyers would make a lot of sense. And he's got that in mind. He's saying, for sellers, they may want to sell this winter instead of waiting for spring, right? Because the buyers are there. We never know what's around the corner, but
right.
Hopefully we'll get more homes on the market and the buyers that are waiting can find their dream home, right? So it's probably a really good time to sell here over the winter. Market's strong. Interest rates are low. We've got a lot of qualified buyers waiting. So bottom line, he thinks the winter housing market could be bigger than ever, bigger than we've ever seen. Which
Interesting.
We pretty much agree. He's
We
a
do.
smart guy, so of course we agree.
No, again, all the indicators that I'm following, when I follow them all, is pointing that direction as well here locally.